It wasn't a secret. At least, not if you asked the right questions. Whenever the topic of Anakin Skywalker came up, even his fellow younglings knew of his horrible past as a slave boy in the sand-crusted city of Mos Espa. It took Obi-Wan Kenobi almost all of his patience to keep the trauma of Skywalker's youth from disrupting his training altogether. But early into Anakin's time as a Padawan, Chancellor Palpatine approached the Jedi Council with a mission, and he wanted Kenobi and his Padawan to take it on. The mission would force Anakin to once again see the horrors of slavery, and the Jedi weren't allowed to do anything about it. They weren't to interfere or try and help the slaves. So why did Kenobi initially try to prevent Skywalker from taking the assignment? And what was Chancellor Palpatine's goal all along? We'll answer these questions and more in today's underrated moment. But first, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Lim, the actual showrunner and writer here. Now, Nolan has been helping me do the voiceovers for quite a while, but now I'll be joining in too. To start, I'm holding a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So please subscribe, watch this video till the end, and then leave a comment. You'll be entered in a random drawing for an awesome saber-forged lightsaber. Yes, this is real, and I've already got the YouTube comment picker app up and running, so again, just comment and you'll be entered. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Now, back to the story. When Kenobi thought back to the past few years of Anakin's training, he had a lot to process. At times, Skywalker appeared to be the very best Jedi in the entire Jedi Temple. With his training saber, Anakin regularly defeated his fellow Padawans, and at times could even get the better of actual knights. But things weren't always rosy. Anakin was stubborn, easily distracted, and quickly angered. Whenever he felt a technique was too difficult or too tedious, he wouldn't hesitate to quit and use his raw force power to overcome his obstacles. And when Kenobi saw Skywalker fall to these negative emotions, he couldn't help but wonder how much of it was caused by the boy's own horrific life as a slave on Tatooine. Shortly after Anakin completed the creation of his very own lethal lightsaber, Kenobi once again felt that same sudden surge of concern. After all, they had just been summoned by the Jedi Council, and once there, in the towers of the temple, Kenobi and his Padawan found themselves standing before Master Windu, Grand Master Yoda, and even Chancellor Palpatine. With almost no time to catch a breath, Mace Windu began the debriefing. Chancellor Palpatine has requested a Jedi escort for a Colicoid diplomatic ship, and the Council has chosen you for the assignment. As Obi-Wan and Anakin digested their new task, Yoda added his own thoughts. Dangerous this mission will not be, we believe. Delicate it is. The Grand Master's words were meant to reassure Kenobi and his apprentice, but also perhaps warn them. Instead of solving their problems with a swing of their blades, the two would need to use softer skills, the very thing that Anakin struggled with. After a second, Obi-Wan remembered an important fact about the Colicoids, an insect-like species native to the Inner Rim. The Colicoids do not welcome the Jedi presence. Kenobi's words didn't quite paint the fullest picture. The Colicoids had been known to take up arms against wayward knights who strayed too far into their territory, and if young Anakin was thrown their way, it seemed like the worst scenario to test out his negotiation skills. And with a nod, Yoda acknowledged Kenobi's sentiment. Yet necessary, they know it is. Obi-Wan turned away from Yoda, then looked at the Chancellor, in order to inquire more about the political nature of the problem. What is the threat to the ship? He asked. And after a short explanation, Kenobi heard something that he never wanted to hear. Their potential adversary, a pirate known as Crane, was actually a slave trader. The Colicoids, and now a slave trader? Obi-Wan couldn't believe the Council thought it was a good idea to send Anakin on this mission, and perhaps they never did. Unusually, Palpatine seemed to take a keen interest in this assignment. As he kept an eye on Skywalker's developing Force talents, the Sith Lord likely wanted to steer him towards the dark side. And what better opportunity was there than this? To pit the boy against one of the worst slavers in the entire galaxy, and allow him to use his own sense of justice to kill, a seemingly righteous act that stood in the face of the Jedi Code. But there was an obstacle, and its name was Obi-Wan Kenobi. With all respect, I am not certain that we are the correct team for this assignment, Obi-Wan said. Anakin was once a slave. He is sensitive to this issue, and as a young Padawan, Kenobi's voice trailed off. But once Skywalker heard his master's words, he objected. And then, sensing that his plan to lure Anakin to the dark side was in jeopardy, Palpatine pushed the plot over the edge. I understand that Anakin Skywalker is a special case. Naturally, the Jedi would wish to protect him more than another Jedi student. Those words burned Kenobi's ears, shaming him in front of the entire council. Of course, Obi-Wan believed in his apprentice, and he also couldn't allow another Padawan to face this danger in Anakin's stead. Although he didn't want to take the assignment, Kenobi reluctantly accepted. But what would happen next was exactly as Obi-Wan feared. The mission and the harsh realities of slavery in the Outer Rim would plague Anakin's mind, ultimately pushing him towards a momentary lapse into the dark side. But that's a different story for a different day. Thank you so much for watching this video through to the end. If you haven't had a chance, please remember to like, subscribe, and then comment if you want to be entered in our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. We are giving away an amazing saber forged lightsaber, so you won't want to miss out. And it helps me on my 6 months journey to try to make this my full-time job. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon, here on Underrated Moments.